hi there. I'm here on this bonus episode to let you know about my upcoming July sabbatical. Now, you won't miss me because I'm offering two wonderful interviews in July. The first is Jody Nisnik, pastor, teacher, and podcaster, and we will talk about fruitfulness versus productivity. Second, I'm sharing a replay of a conversation I had with therapist KJ Ramsey. We talk about her book, This Too Shall Last, Finding Grace When Suffering Lingers. You won't want to miss either of these incredible women as they share their expertise as well as their experience. So, what about my sabbatical? Well, on June 29, we are entering our third annual 1-month sabbatical. We've borrowed this idea from a few others in spiritual formation, and it's proving to be a wonderful new pattern for us. Now, some people hear about our sabbatical and wish us well. They see the importance of it. Others question how it's even possible and whether it's wise to take that much time off. How can I engage rest in the middle of so many important tasks? Now, a sabbatical in the midst of good and fruitful work actually tests my belief in what unhurried living teaches all the way down to my core. I desire to be the very best version of myself, as close to my true self as possible. Do I do this perfectly? Well, of course not. But engaging this question requires effort, and if I want my true self to be expressed, I continue to practice. So what will it take to become the most gracious and healthy version of myself? Certainly, I can't lead an organization called Unhurried Living while at the same time running myself ragged, succumbing to the siren call of ambition, and ignoring my emotional, psychological, and spiritual health. Well, when you say it like that, it sounds obvious, and it is. But believing this to be true and doing something about it are two different things. Now, my husband, Alan, and I have decided to make essential changes to our weeks, months, and years so that we can be the healthiest and most sustainable and thriving versions of ourselves. This is one of the first acts of a spiritual leader, to lead their own soul. And this means we make time for important spiritual practices as well as good and fruitful work. And sometimes we say no to amazing opportunities rather than force something from an empty cup. Now, some of you might wonder what we're doing on our sabbatical. Well, before I tell you what we're doing, I'll tell you what I'm not doing. I'm not going to look at email. I'm not going to engage social media. And I'm not going to do any work. And by work, I mean the regular stuff we do around here, all the various ways that I engage with creativity and writing or producing things or meeting with people. All of that I'm laying down for 1 month. I do allow myself what I would call study. I'll read books, I'll journal, I'll intake in beautiful ways, but not for the purpose of sending it back out right away. It's for me. It's reading that I love. It's sinking down into journaling that I love. Okay? So those are some of the things I'm not doing. Here are the categories of things that I am doing in this month. Rest, play, relationships, reading, prayer, unplugging, beauty, refilling. Now, to do this, we had to work ahead on everything: emails, blog posts, podcasts, social media posts. And we had to ensure that our large projects were at an appropriate pausing point at just the right time. It does take effort to live this kind of life, and that's okay. Now, ultimately, here at Unhurried Living, my husband, Alan, and I, we want to model what we teach. We can't just be telling everybody else what to do. We have to try it on. We have to experience it. And we actually believe what we're saying. It takes a rested heart to produce something good. So we desire to give you the best of what we learn and receive from God. And we want to remain creative and energetic as we create content and events that will serve you as you serve others. Now, I would love your prayers as you think of us. The month of July, I am offline. So, blessings to you, and I will be ready to engage when I return. And by the way, as you can imagine, and as I've described, this takes a lot of preparation. We've been working for months to get ahead on everything so that it's ready. And we have this lovely assistant named Kara Yuza, which some of you have engaged with already via email. And she's going to be holding down the fort for us while we're gone. And I'd just like to ask you to pray for her as she continues to serve and tend in our absence. So, all that to say, blessings to you during the month of July. And even if you don't have a month off like we do, I get it. Can you take an hour sometime this month? Set your phone down for a minute. Pretend that you don't have to carry the planet on your shoulders like Atlas. Sit in your backyard in a chair. Face it toward a tree or a flower. Listen to the birds and take some deep breaths. Even that will do something. So, blessings to you again, and thank you so much for engaging with the I Can Do That podcast.